A warm welcome to everyone joining us from all over the world. We are in Most, Czech Republic, for round number 3 of the 2026 TCR Eastern Europe season. It's race number 2 and the sun is finally shining here in the Czech Republic. We had some rain yesterday and a very topsy-turvy opening race. But once again, it will be Janík Motorsport against Aditis Racing for this race number 2 on the front row, because we have the top 6 drivers reversed from the results of race number 1. It's Jiří Zbožínek starting from pole position with Radim Adamek in 2nd place. But then behind us in 5th and 6th place, the 2 drivers fighting for the title. We have Adam Kout starting in 5th place and Martin Kadlečík, yesterday's winner, starting in 6th position. He has now 4 race wins compared to Kout's 2, and he's now in the lead of the championship by almost 20 points. It has been a great start to the season for him, but he cannot let up, he cannot relax. He needs to stay focused and start thinking about the championship. He started from 6th position, Kout is starting in 5th. Ahead of them, Petr Čížek, the hometown hero. He was on the podium yesterday in race number 1. He will definitely aim for more of the same in race number 2, which is starting very shortly, which is why we're going to head up to the booth and get ready to enjoy race number 2 of the 3rd round of the 2026 TCR Eastern Europe season. Thank you as always. Thank you. And now back in the commentary booth for race number 2 of the 2026 3rd round of the TCR Eastern Europe season. Ready to have some fun here in Most, and of course the reverse grid order will give us plenty of opportunities to have fun. Here is the starting grid. 5 out of 6 drivers are from the Czech Republic, and though they treat this as the home race, they will be fighting one against the other. The only non-Czech driver, Žarko Knego, starting from 3rd position. He is definitely wanting to spoil the party for the other Czech drivers. But as we said, it is Jiří Zbožínek on pole, Radim Adamek in 2nd position, and watch out for that 3rd row of Adam Kout and Martin Kadlečík, the 2 drivers who have fought tooth and nail for the championship so far this year, and they have been absolutely phenomenal in this fight so far. It has to be said, of course, that it's Kadlečík with the upper hand up until right now. The Aditis Racing driver has been flawless, taking 4 victories. Unfortunately for Kout, he had to retire in the opening race of the year, which is why he trails by this many points. But now, getting ready to watch the formation lap here in Most. It's a great opportunity to talk about the track once more, the 4.2 kilometer circuit that broke ground in 1978, but then officially opened in 1983. And the Most district was known itself for organizing some races for both cars and motorbikes before the construction of the circuit, and then of course This lovely track was built a little over 40 years ago. It is a track that has a great history in TCR racing. Naturally, TCR Eastern Europe has been a stable presence of those activities here in Most ever since 2022. That it was the very first year where TCR Eastern Europe came here in Most. But then, before that, we had the WTCR race of the Czech Republic here on this very circuit. And that was, of course, one of the highlights of the history of this track. The Touring Car World Championship coming here in 2021. We also had the European Touring Car Cup race here in 2017. Just showing how suitable this circuit really is for TCR cars. But then, of course, TCR Eastern Europe being the maiden event for TCR cars here in Most since 2022. A championship that has seen plenty of fights, not just this season, but of course in previous years as well. So it will be very interesting to figure out what will happen at the start of this race, especially given the fight in between Janík Motorsport and Aditis Racing, the two teams that have two cars entered in this championship. Jiří Zbožínek and Adam Kout starting in 1st and 5th for Janík Motorsport. Then it's Radim Adamek and Martin Kadlečík for Aditis Racing. A double fight between the two teams that stretches from the 1st to the 3rd row. And in between them, Žarko Knego, the Croatian driver with this Hyundai, and then Petr Čížek with the Cupra. The only Cupra present here this weekend. It's a very nice piece of machinery that we will have definitely time to talk about later on. But this is, as you can see, the entire grid coming towards the last couple of corners. Of course, with the standing start, having to nail the release of the clutch, plus the engine revs and tire temperatures, everything put together will give drivers the best possible getaway, which is naturally what they are after. So it's Jiří Zbožínek starting on pole position, the home driver looking to secure a podium after yesterday when he had issues on the penultimate lap that dropped him from 3rd all the way down to 6th. He's definitely ready for some revenge. But behind him, Radim Adamek, Žarko Knego, Petr Čížek, and then the two big weights of this championship, Adam Kout and Martin Kadlečík. We're ready to witness start of race number 2 as the green flag is about to be waved at the back of the grid. The 5 red lights come up and they are off, and we are underway for race number 2. Not the greatest of getaways for Radim Adamek, who's already dropped to last place, as on the other hand Jiří Zbožínek has had a terrific start with Žarko Knego in 2nd, and now Petr Čížek on the inside of Adam Kout, with also Martin Kadlečík fighting long and hard, though he thinks better of the just diving up the inside of Petr Čížek. Instead, he will try to take 4th on the run down to turn 5. Let's see if that is an overtake worth noting, as Čížek sees his rival lock up, but Kadlečík is still able to make it through into 4th position. So it's Jiří Zbožínek, yet another lockup for Kadlečík, who definitely has started this race quite jittery, as a couple of lockups will not be the best compared to what has happened before. Naturally now all the drivers look to make some inroads, especially towards the Orlen bridge, as almost up the inside goes Adam Kout on Petr Čížek. This leaves him vulnerable almost to Martin Kadlečík, who goes around the outside, though he's not able to make the move stick. And therefore, he needs to settle for 4th though he is so close to the back of his championship rival, and so is Kadlečík behind. This makes it so that Jiří Zbožínek up front has gained massive amounts of time, and he is into the lead with 2.5 seconds almost over the group of cars that trails from 2nd to 5th, as now Kadlečík is glued to the back of Adam Kout, almost looking to the inside. Now into turn 2, and a very aggressive move from Martin Kadlečík, taking Adam Kout by surprise. Kout may be a bit naive to leave the door open, as Kadlečík goes straight through and into 3rd place. And this one also enables Kadlečík to go up the inside and into 4th. And this is a disastrous start of the lap for Adam Kout, dropping from 3rd to 5th. And most importantly, his rival now in front. Great start then of the race for Martin Kadlečík, who's now up into 3rd and trying to catch Žarko Knego for 2nd. On the other hand, Kout is in 5th place, having to fight against Kadlečík. This will not be an easy client to get rid of, I think. Čížek is definitely a good driver and a very competitive one, which will make it very hard for Kout to make the move stick. He's very close into the final couple of corners. Maybe, just maybe, he will be able to line up a move towards the inside of turn number 1. Though, of course, that only remains to be seen, as now the drivers roll towards the opening chicane. On one hand, it's Kadlečík, who could line up a move on Knego. On the other is Adam Kout. And now up the inside, he dives for 4th position, and he is able to make the move stick despite a slight lockup. That is a very nice move, almost desperate from Adam Kout, knowing that he has to try and catch back up to his rival. Unfortunately, that wasn't the start of the race that he wanted. I mean, the start itself wasn't bad. He was still in front of Kadlečík and making moves and up into 3rd. But then, unfortunately, the laps after weren't so perfect, which is why he dropped to 4th position. Kadlečík now to the back of Žarko Knego. He looks still capable of overtaking his rival, though there's still some time left in the race. He has to make the move stick and get a move on if he wants to go after Jiří Zbožínek, who looks to have a good rhythm so far. He almost dives to the inside of Knego, trying to spook his rival. I think he was able to do so, as Knego locked up slightly. The battle between Hyundai and Audi. As now the Aditis Racing star looks to line up a move, though as you can see, Adam Kout is almost already to the back of his rival in the championship. Another lockup for Žarko Knego, who is starting to feel the pressure a bit. He's definitely starting to see a bit of a change, and now he has been under attack from Martin Kadlečík, who's had a great exit out of turn 10. Can he make the move stick into turn 13? Yes, he can. Up into 2nd goes Martin Kadlečík. Adam Kout knows that he has to follow suit quite quickly, so he immediately darts to the outside of turn 15, and that is a brave move for Adam Kout. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he can, and that is a very, very nice overtake between the two Elantras, there was a lot of respect, but absolutely phenomenal job from Adam Kout, who is now up into third and behind Martin Kadlečík, waiting for his rival to almost drag him towards Jiří Zbožínek. But this is once again that situation that we had the last time around in race number 1. 2 cars from Janík Motorsport, only 1 from Aditis Racing. The two could potentially fight against one another, or potentially team up to fight against the Aditis Racing entry of Martin Kadlečík, just to be able to make it through and perhaps give a good chance to Adam Kout to gain some points back in the championship, though of course that is quite hard for the two to do, as you can see how quick Martin Kadlečík has been. So now, as you can see, the pair of them trying to catch Jiří Zbožínek. They've already taken quite a bit out of their main rival. And now, as you get ready to start yet another lap, you can see Zbožínek's advantage dropping and dropping and dropping. Now onto the start-finish line, it's only 2.6 seconds, which makes it so that Adam Kout is a bit of on the back foot here, also gaining on Zbožínek, but still behind Martin Kadlečík, and that is not what he needed. Naturally, of course, we still have 16 minutes left on the clock, and therefore anything can truly happen, especially given how unpredictable touring car racing can be. As now we see Kadlečík still gaining on Zbožínek, though the Hyundai is quite good in the first sector. The final part of the circuit is where Kadlečík really shines, and he is able to make quite a lot of inroads. Here you can see Adam just trying to mimic the lines that Martin Kadlečík is doing to settle into his pace, and he has been very good, to be completely honest. Almost too good for the rest of the field. As Kadlečík moves closer and closer towards the back of Zbožínek, another half a second gained on the previous lap. And that is a great start to his comeback from last place on the grid for Martin Kadlečík. I'm very curious though to see whether or not he will be able to finish the job. Because it's one thing to catch Zbožínek, it's another thing to overtake him altogether. Of course, now waiting for the moment, the inevitable moment where Zbožínek will be caught by Kadlečík. As you can see, this lap he seems much quicker than his rival, gaining over a second between the first and second sectors. Adam Kout, on the other hand, trying desperately to stay within range. Though it doesn't look like it's working. Now Adam Kout. You can see him. He was 2 seconds back. Now 1.7, as Kadlečík now has a bit of the dirty air from the Hyundai of Zbožínek. The gap just 1 second between the race leader and Martin Kadlečík. Behind them, Žarko Knego is still in 4th position, but now under attack from Czech. The Cupra is just 6/10 behind Knego. Here is Kadlečík on his quest to become a 5-time race winner this season after having won 4 times already. This would, of course, just increase his championship lead even further, but you can see how quick he is and how much quicker he is compared to the 2 Hyundais behind. I think that is not just a matter of car, but also of driver. He has been superb so far today. As now Kadlečík could perhaps start thinking of a move, and maybe he doesn't even have to, because Zbožínek has made a huge mistake on the outside of the final corner. On the exit, he just dips 2 wheels on the gravel, which then become 4 as he crumbles under pressure, and the pressure got to him, making him slip down to 2nd position. Such a shame. We were getting ready for a fight, but unfortunately for us, it will not happen, as Kadlečík has now been released from the pressure from behind as he now moves into 1st place. And it is very difficult that he will ever look back now, given the monster pace that he's had this weekend. I mean, just superb job from Martin Kadlečík. And unfortunately for Zbožínek, a mistake that stings, not just for himself, but for the entirety of Janík Motorsport too. As now his teammate Adam Kout moves closer and closer to the back of him. I'm sure that the 2 will be very collaborative between one another. There's no need to defend too hard towards their teammate. But we'll see what happens as now Zbožínek rounds the final couple of corners again. Getting close to that moment and that place where he made that mistake before. Zbožínek currently staying in 2nd position towards turn number 1. Kadlečík just flying away from the rest of the field. He was a second quicker than his rivals in the previous lap, which tells you all you need to know. As now the 2 Janík Motorsport drivers come closer and closer to one another, with Kout trying to go up the inside into turn 8, which is also the inside into turn 10. A 2 touch at the hairpin, but finally Adam Kout is through, and he is able to take the position away from his rival. That took quite a lot of convincing on Adam Kout's part against his teammate, which definitely didn't make life easy on him, but That was a good fight and a good overtake for Adam Kout, who is now back onto second position. And the order has been restored with the top 2 of the championship back on the top 2 steps of the podium for now. Kadlečík, though, much quicker than the rest of the field up until now, which has been the leitmotif of this race, really, and this weekend. We've seen how good he has been throughout it. Yesterday dominating things, and today basically doing the exact same, despite starting from 6th and last place. But here the replay of the mistake that gifted Martin Kadlečík the lead. Yeah, just going wide, trying to put too much power out of the final corner straight onto the throttle, but that unfortunately didn't work out for him, as Zbožínek is now dropped to 3rd place already, overtaken by Adam Kout before. And now with 7 minutes left on the clock, it's difficult to expect any changes in the top 2, given how quick Kadlečík has been. But of course, everything is yet to be decided. We don't know whether or not that will actually be the end of the fight. Naturally, of course, this makes the swing in the championship much bigger for Martin Kadlečík, having won yesterday's race as well. TCR Eastern Europe having 2 more rounds only after this, so 4 races to decide the eventual champion. The first 2 will be contested at the Slovakia ring in 2 weeks' time. Sorry, 3 weeks, as we go to the Slovakia ring from the 21st to the 23rd of August. So a very short summer break before we go back out on track for the 4th round of the season. And then last, but definitely not least, the Hungaroring being the perfect conclusion of this season. From the 23rd to the 25th of October, drivers and teams will head over to Budapest for the final race weekend of this grueling 2026 season that so far has smiled the way of Martin Kadlečík and Aditis Racing. Meanwhile, as we go catch them with the cameras, Žarko Knego still in 4th in front of Petr Čížek, but the latter is getting closer and closer and closer. Just 5 tenths separating the two, even less now after the second sector, just 3 tenths between Knego and Čížek. You can see how the Cupra is much stronger in the twistier section of the circuit, whereas the Hyundai is very good on a straight line and is difficult to overtake. The two have the potential to set the truck ablaze in these final 5 minutes. We will see whether or not we will actually have this fight. As we see now the cars racing towards turn 1. And Čížek still trying to fight and hunt Žarko Knego, but the Croatian is definitely wanting to at least spoil the party of one Czech, because the other 3 are in front and in the podium places without forgetting also Radim Adamek, who is in 6th position at the moment. Here is the race leader, Martin Kadlečík, getting ready to start what is probably the penultimate lap. Before that, he's going to lap his teammate, who comfortably gives him the space. As now Kadlečík starts the second to last lap. Kadlečík has been very consistent other than very quick. As now Adam Kout is wanting to make some inroads, though the car in front isn't the Aditis Racing Audi that he wanted to fight today. It is the lapped Radim Adamek, who wasn't able to give him the room before 10:10. Now he does, however, brilliantly so. And so he moves into clean air, does Adam Kout. Behind him, Jiří Zbožínek hasn't lost a lot of time, it has to be said. But here is our race leader, car number 301, getting ready to start what will be the final lap of this race, rounding out the final corner for the penultimate time. As now we go towards the very final lap of the race. It's been another triumphant run for Martin Kadlečík. I feel like this weekend no one could stop him. We saw him have more pace than anyone else in plenty of situations. And of course, Aditis Racing has been perfect from start to finish. Kadlečík was able to get the move done in race number 1 on Adam Kout after just 10 minutes. He almost did the same here on the other Janík Motorsport entry, this time of Jiří Zbožínek, and he never looked back. Getting ready now to celebrate in front of his home fans, but definitely in front of his team as well, with Aditis Racing putting another stone on their journey and path towards the 2026 title, together with Martin Kadlečík. Here he goes, rounding out the final couple of corners. The checkered flag is waiting for Martin Kadlečík to cross the start-finish line, and for the 5th time in the 2026 TCR Eastern Europe season, Martin Kadlečík is a race winner. Fantastic job from Aditis Racing and Martin Kadlečík, who take home yet another victory in front of Adam Kout, who finishes in 2nd, minimizing the points loss. Third place goes to Jiří Zbožínek, who is finally able to step on the podium after yesterday's troubles on the penultimate lap. And after that, it is Žarko Knego in 4th position, with Petr Čížek right behind him in 5th. There was no way through for Čížek, honestly, today, but he can be proud of the podium that he scored on Saturday. Yet another brilliant race in the Racing Journal Speedfest here in Most. This time it was TCR Eastern Europe which has concluded its program in this very not hot weekend, given how the temperatures have gone down after the rain yesterday. But TCR Eastern Europe will be back for more in 3 weeks' time, as the championship goes to the Slovakia ring for the 4th and penultimate round of this season, before then having the Hungaroring as the very final stop on the calendar. Drivers now making their way towards the Park Ferme and the pits, as Kadlečík will get to the Slovakia ring with an even bigger championship lead over Adam Kout. And the Janík Motorsport driver will have to figure something out in the final 2 rounds if he wants to overturn this big gap that Kadlečík has created. It has been a great first half of the season for both drivers, but especially for Kadlečík, who will now relax, enjoy the success. Well, first of all, he has to bring the car to the pits and then climb out of it to go step on the podium, and after that he will be able to relax, enjoy a bit of time off in the next couple of weeks before going to the Slovakia ring with the championship lead. This is the official results of race number 2. Martin Kadlečík takes the win ahead of Adam Kout and Jiří Zbožínek, with Žarko Knego, Petr Čížek and Radim Adamek rounding out the top 6. But that is everything from us here in Most with TCR Eastern Europe. The next round will be at the Slovakia ring in 3 weeks' time. Thank you for being with us, and goodbye.